How can telepathy even exist?
In our center, there are people who've been and have not uttered a word for 12, 15 years in a stretch. If they come out and try to do telepathy, telekinesis, astrology, they will wipe out the whole market.
They hear voices in their head, they feel they're out of control.
A whole lot of people who are wearing rings on their thumbs, they will become available to certain forces. It'll completely break them.
Whether you could see a certain peaks at the moment you entered the temple, the odds are very, very rare that…
What happened in the consecration would happen even if those 5,000 people are not there.
That would be an interesting experiment to try, yes. What in the world do these phenomena tell us about the nature of reality?
If you perceive something which is beyond sense perception, then we call it vijnana. If you explore this deep enough, there is no door in the universe which will not open for you.
We have done some EEG studies on advanced meditators who stay in delta, which is deep sleep, even while awake, which is quite strange.
Look at me, do I look stoned?
Your presence alone can induce states in other people.
If I walk in, they go crazy.
During periods of large-scale mass attention on things that happened, the physical world changed.
Human attention is a phenomenal thing, much, much more than most human beings ever imagine. Namaskaram, everyone.
So I have spent 45 years of my career studying psychic phenomena. I know that within the spiritual traditions, like in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, there are the cities that are listed, 20 or so different cities. The ones that we can study in the laboratory are the elementary cities, things like perception through space and time. But in virtually all of those traditions, the teachers say, don't pay attention to these things. They will happen, but that's not where we're headed. That's not the goal. And so I can understand that. If the goal is to become enlightened, to take the spiritual path, the reason why, and I'm interested in that as well, personally. However, as a scientist, when we encounter psychic phenomena, which basically everybody does spontaneously and some are talented and can produce them, it is so different than the mainstream view of the scientific view of the nature of reality, that we can't help but become curious as to what in the world do these phenomena tell us about the nature of reality. And so here's the analogy I would use. So let's say you don't know anything about art history, you never heard of Leonardo da Vinci. You go to the Louvre in Paris, and then you see a bunch of people around a painting, and they're all looking at the Mona Lisa, and they have looks of awe on their face. And you look at it and you see, well, that's a nice picture of a girl. You know, what's the big deal? Because you don't know how to appreciate what it is you're looking at. So I would suggest, and here's where I would like your opinion. So I'm on a spiritual path, I encounter psychic phenomena, but I'm told don't pay much attention to it. So I don't have the appreciation of what that is trying to tell me about where I'm headed. And so that's where science is kind of stuck on figuring out, like, how can telepathy even exist? What does it say about the nature of reality? If I knew that better, then the question for you is, would that actually help me appreciate the path that I'm on?
Now you already brought Mona Lisa in your defense. So, there are certain things that enhance life. There are certain things which deplete life. The idea of spirituality is to enhance life in such a way that other people who have not invested in enhancing their lives, you look supernatural or superhuman. Well, is that the intent? That's not the intent, that's a natural consequence. But if you're a vehicle, spiritual process means on one level, you're putting yourself on a karmic fast forward. Everything is moving rapidly for you. Suppose your car is moving fast and on the way you saw a sunflower and you put your hand out and caught it. The sunflower came with you, unfortunately got ripped off and came with you. But as you went, then you saw, this is a season or no, it's over. Let's say some tree, a magnolia tree has flowers, you liked it and put your hand out and caught the branch. Now branch may come with you or your arm may stay back. One of these things will happen. Or it may yank you out of the window. So, when we are traveling at speed, we tell you, I think even as children, you were told, even as a child you were told, don't put your hand out. Because if you put your hand out, it feels nice, but it may go away, the hand. So, in that context, we said, don't try to catch anything on the way. It doesn't matter how attractive it looks, because you'll pay a price for it. In some way, life will deplete. Not just of the accidents that I'm using as analogy, life will deplete in some way. So, I'm interested also in spiritual process, but why not the sideshow? It's an individual choice, but it's a bad choice. But so many people make bad choices and they're living. Instead of waking up in the morning and doing something that could enhance your life, there are people who get up and the first thing they do is have a shot of whiskey or vodka or whatever. Weather is nice, you know. So, what's wrong with them? Nothing wrong, they all claim it's doing wonders to them. Whichever building you go to, I'm just seeing in the last 3 days, wherever you go, it's smelling cannabis. So they all feel it enhances them, they feel great. What do you know about it? Well, we know about it. If I meet you after 10 years, you will also know. Right now, it looks like only you know, or only I know, whichever way. So, there are many things people do. The question is only about, is it constantly enhancing your life, or will you plateau out somewhere, or will you fall back? These are the questions. Those questions, if you genuinely address, you won't put your hand out of your car.
So
if I don't appreciate Mona Lisa, don't blame me. We don't find her attractive, that's all.
But see, the underlying question is, if you knew what likely would happen, like you might lose your arm or get stuck in the tree or whatever by reaching out for that, you can then make a choice as to whether…
No, but you don't know because you plucked the sunflower and it came with you and it looks wonderful. I'm the fool who don't have a flower in my hand. You have sunflower in your hand. But when you put your hand out for the wrong thing, that's when the prize comes, right?
The wrong thing…
Wrong does not mean right and wrong, morally right and wrong, not in that sense. What hurts you, I believe is the wrong thing.
Okay, so is it better to know than not to know?
No, to know what?
To know what is likely to deplete you or harm you versus not. Because see, if I knew that reaching…
No, that's important. I appreciate that question, it's important. What depletes you? Let me not talk about what enhances you because that's a whole lot of work. It's always like that. Going up is a lot of work. Falling down is quite simple. So what depletes you? See, right now, let me not put myself because people are sniping these videos one sentence and putting, oh, he said this, he said that, okay? So not me, let's say you. Normally I take it on myself, but just today morning they sent me a video. Across 20 years they've sniped one sentence and say, oh, he said this, he said… Arey, you're such a ninicompoop that you can only understand one sentence, not the whole.
Yeah.
So, let us say you had the necessary focus in your mind. Let's say with your simple mental focus, you looked at him like this and destroyed his kidney, both. And you know what happens. Or you used your focus, his kidney was not little making creaky sounds, you just fixed it. Both can be done. Now if you do such a thing, your life will deplete. Now of course, there are such good people who will say, is it not important? Doesn't matter if my life depletes, I saved his life. Yes, I appreciate the empathy. I appreciate the empathy. Even if you're empathetic, your actions should be still sensible, isn't it? This is something when… these days they have stopped. But whenever I came to United States, somebody will ask me, can you raise the dead? I said, I can. But I will raise all the dead, is it okay with you? All the people that you don't like also we will raise. And everybody who's died on this planet till now, countless number of people will raise all of them. Can you bear with them? So someone told you, leave the dead to the dead. It's a very wise statement. You must leave the dead to the dead. If you think raising the dead is some great quality, it's the dumbest thing to do. When you have lost somebody who's dear to you, you think it's a great thing. But why not everybody else? All the dead. Why only somebody who's dear to you? Why can't we raise everybody, huh? They're making movies like this in Hollywood, suddenly everybody rises and comes like this. This is a Halloween time, you know, they're all rising now. This happened. Can I tell you a story? So, a couple who are living in Texas who are over 75 years of age, married for over 50 years, decided to go to Jerusalem and they went there. This has been their dream since they married at the age of 25. They've been dreaming of going to Jerusalem, the Holy Land. But for 6 months went in honeymoon, then children came. This year one came and then they thought after this child grows up they will go, but by then another had come. Like this, 5 children had happened. Children had to go to school, then their graduations came one by one, they had to do that, then they had to put them in the university, but then they got married, they had to be there for the weddings, and then grandchildren came, they had to blow candles. Like this, 50 years went away. Now, they found some time and they went to Jerusalem. Jerusalem is every cobblestone bleeds history, you know. Everywhere there are stories and stories and stories. So they walked along the streets of Jerusalem. They thought, oh my, this is where Jesus walked with this cross, and they cried. And they walked somewhere else and they saw that place where he's supposed to have walked upon water. Everything was absolutely fantastic and overwhelmed by their experience. But unfortunately, the lady had a heart attack and she died. That happens, you know. That can happen to anybody, I'm saying. So the man was preparing to bring her back to Texas for cremation, burial and whatever else. Then the local people arrived. They said, no, don't do this. She has done the right thing. She died in the Holy Land. This is a place to die. And above all, to take the body back to Texas, it costs $18,000 on the plane. And whatever the local church is there. Because you're an American and we love you, $15,000. Let's do it here, we'll finish it. She's done the right thing, your wife is a very wise lady. She died in Jerusalem. The man thought about it. Then he said, no, I'll take her back to Texas. They said, why? You're very distressed by the loss of your wife, you're not able to think straight. All right, we'll make it $12,000, let's do it. And this is a haggling place. Like this, they came down, $3,000, come on, let's do it. He thought about it and said, no, I'm taking her back to Texas. Then they threw up their hands and said, why? What's your problem? Why do you want to take her back to Texas? He said, in Texas, dead stay dead. So, there are various things like this. Enhancement of life does not mean elongation of life. Life can be brief and super enhanced. Life can be long, totally useless life. Useless does not mean socially useful, you did something, you invented something, not necessary. If you sit here, you're a wonderful life for yourself at least. If you can be wonderful to the world around you, fantastic. But at least if you sit here, you're wonderful to yourself, that much you must do. That will not happen. That part of your life will deplete. If you try to fix his kidney, if you try to destroy her kidney, if you try to do this, positive, negative, there is no such thing. This is all social stuff. Oh, I did healing, I destroyed his kidney. That's not the point. You are using your energies in a way, essentially you're trying to play God, you'll pay for it.
And yet here we are in a hospital where people are helping others.
That's different.
How is that different?
See, no doctor, at least the medical doctors, they're not talking about fixing anything, they're doing things from outside. Either they do surgery or they do chemicals or they do something else. Fixing something with your life energies is one thing. Fixing something with your hands which you're supposed to use anyway is different thing. So, this process of, let us say, you did surgery and fixed somebody's kidney, that's a different thing. That's subject to various realities, you have to do it skillfully, otherwise things will go bad. Hello? You have to do it very skillfully, otherwise it won't work. So similarly, destroying his kidney with your energies or you poked him with a knife. Comparatively, in terms of your life, poking with a knife is a lesser thing than energetically you destroyed him. It's a much lesser thing.
So you're saying it's not…
Using your motor actions to do whatever the hell you're doing according to your judgment is one thing. Using your life energies to do that is a completely different thing.
And so what happens if life energies turned out to be very similar to developments in
laser
medicine?
And whatever else.
Yeah, electromagnetic and
but
whatever,
it's not yours.
genetics. Well, what if it's the same? What if technology goes up to the point where whatever is happening with life energy is either the same or at least simulated? And then, is that then not maybe a good place to go?
But it's not your life energy, right?
Well, it might be from a machine or from the sun or something, and that's okay?
No, there'll be price for that also.
But from the sun has to pay the price.
No. The person who is treated also will pay the price. Sun may pay a price, but he's too big, so his price, he may not care about it. And anyway, solar energy is very different from the life energies that you use to do this thing, the psychic energy that you use.
How so?
In every way. Not comparable. They're not the same.
Can you elaborate on why?
See, physical aspects of life, whether it's sun, water or air, and those which are not physical in nature are two different things. Non-physical aspects are given to you from a different context. Physical things, you gathered some muscle, this is just physical, you can use it in so many ways. Electricity, solar energy, everything is physical. You gather it and use it in a certain way.
And yet science is that close to studying non-physical phenomena.
That's what they think.
No, I'm not talking about psychic effects. I'm talking about quantum mechanics, and areas of science
That is what
where…
I'm saying, that is what they think.
Well, so they're not thinking right.
No. See, as you know, what you think is close is light years away. This happened. One day, Shankaran Pillai went for a job interview in Bangalore. You know Bengaluru?
Yeah.
So there the interviewer asked, which is closer to you, Moon or Mumbai? Without batting an eyelid, he said, Moon. Said, how do you say such a silly thing? Said, well, I can see the moon, I can't see Mumbai. So if you have such logic, certain things look like that, but it's not like that.
Which again raises the question of knowing versus not knowing. See, because you can say, yes, what your sense is…
There's a difference between conjecture and knowing. There's a difference between knowledge and knowing. Accumulated stuff and pure knowing are two different things.
Right, so we would call the true knowing with a capital K, that is a noetic experience. It's a deep…
No, I'm not going there right now, okay?
Yes.
No, I thought this is independent of that.
No, but I mean, it's just different words assigned to similar kinds of concepts, yes. So we know that people have those experiences and we become curious. Well, how can we understand that?
See, what is mind, what is body, it's like this. In a very simple way, the yogic traditions put it this way. Anda, Pinda, Brahmanda. Anda means individual life. Pinda means larger life. Brahmanda means the source of life. You can use this Anda whichever way you want, it's up to you, depending upon the times in which you are born. Different ways we use it. What we thought was perfectly right 1,000 years ago, today is all wrong, isn't it? Yes or no? Men who did many things 1,000 years ago, thinking they're doing a great thing, today is all wrong, isn't it? So Anda, you can use it whichever way, it's a gift to you from nature or creation. Pinda, you're careful because it's a larger life, it's not you. Yes, you may find access to it, you have to treat it with a certain reverence, otherwise it has its own consequences. Brahmanda, you don't ever try to use. You can melt into it, you can dissolve into it. It may find expression through you without your will, that's okay. But you don't ever create an intent for Brahmanda or the source of life. You don't create an intent. This is why the very way the creation is, that there are certain hoops that most people don't cross. because they can't approach anything without intent. They have an intent. They think they're good people, so they have stupid good intent always. And in every generation, somebody who thought they're very good did terrible things to other people, isn't it? Yes or no? I am saying the more good you think you are, more terrible things you're doing to people, and this has been the case all through history, human history. People who thought, I'm very good this, they're doing terrible things to somebody else, thinking they're doing a very good thing, isn't it? Happening or no? So your intent is coming from this. If you have a negative intent, then you say, this is a bad person. Positive intent, then you say it's a good person. But tell me, how much damage have so-called bad people caused to this planet? It's the good people who destroy civilizations, isn't it? Hello? A bad person just robs somebody a little bit, pickpocket he will do, he will mug you on the street, maybe even kill you. But it's the people who believe they are good who wipe out civilizations on the planet. There are very good people who have killed, 10, 20, 30, 50 million people at a time within short spans of time, all right? So, your intent is a serious problem, though you may think you have good intent. So one fundamental rule, if you explore aspects which is beyond the under, you have no intent of your own. You just go with the nature's intent. You don't try to create an intent of your own.
Okay, what's the relationship between intent and curiosity? Science is driven largely by curiosity.
Science is fine because it's only exploring to look. I want to just look, but I want to use is another matter. Tell me today, whatever environmental problems that we're talking about, has it come out of uneducated people, ignorant people on the planet, or because of the educated people on the planet? Which way is it?
Probably the latter.
Not probably, come on. What has destroyed this world? Our inability or our technology?
Yeah, technology.
Technology. If you were incapable, there was no problem, isn't it? So I'm not trying to say technology is bad. All I'm saying is, if you empower someone who can't keep his hands off everything, every empowerment leads to destruction. You have to scratch something. You can't keep quiet because you have an intent. Just exploration, absolutely no problem. So that's why a spiritual process is just exploration. Not developing an intent and say, I'll fix this, I'll fix that. Today, if I sit in Boston and say, I will give life predictions for you, sit in one hotel room, enough. Within a month's time, you will be surprised. 100, 200,000 people will be queuing up because I'll tell you exactly what the hell will happen with you. But if I come here and say, come here, I'll teach you ways to transform your life, you can determine the nature of your existence. See, only this many people. So shall we do that? No, we won't do that.
So what do you say to these people who end up having the psychic experiences?
Don't say psychic, no.
Well, what would you call them then?
What?
Well, precognition, telepathy, psychokinetic effects.
We don't go there.
But nevertheless it happens.
If it happens, we'll block it.
Well, see, then there will be people who want to know how to use that. Because we don't…
I'm telling you, particularly in our center, there are people who are steeped in sadhana. There are people who have been and have not uttered a word for 12, 15 years in a stretch, totally in it. If they come out and try to do telepathy, telekinesis, astrology, they will wipe out the whole market. But if they do that, they're finished with me.
So that this means you have no scientists within your following?
I have sensible people.
Sensible people.
Why do you call them scientists? Somebody who can't stop scratching himself, not science, right?
Right. No.
When we know it's causing damage, still we go on doing it, thinking it is science. How is it scientific?
In the same sense as jhana, knowledge. Like people have different predilections, some people are pulled to understand.
Understanding is different. Exercising your will upon the world is a different thing, isn't it?
Yes, but…
That's all I'm saying.
Yes, but you can be pulled to understand, well, why does that work? Right? I mean, otherwise that's the whole enterprise of science is you observe something, right?
I'm glad you described it as an enterprise.
Anytime people get together and do something…
I thought science is an exploration. If it's an enterprise, I will look at it from a different angle.
Yeah, but we don't charge admission. Actually, we do. Yeah. Well, let's bypass that for a moment. You don't need to go to a university to be curious and to observe the world.
Of course.
And so there will be people who are drawn purely out of curiosity as to, I woke up from a dream and everything from the dream came true today. And then they would immediately, of course, wonder, how is that even possible? That says something about the nature of time and our experience within time.
First of all, I'm concerned that you're having a dream. Whether it came true or not is another matter. First thing is, when you sleep, you should just shut up and sleep. But you're running your mind when you're sleeping. When you're awake, your mind should be sharp and alert to things. No, it is not. When you're sleeping, it is acting up. Wrong way to keep your mind. So you had a dream and people come and say, Sadhguru, the meaning is, shut up. First of all, you have no business to be having a dream, and then you want a meaning to it. Most of the thought that you have when you're awake is meaningless. What makes you think your dream is very meaningful? Is there nothing to it? There is. Don't go in that direction because you will not grow, you will get lost.
But the thing is, a dream is unconscious.
People who claim they have premonitions, they know what's going to happen, just look at them. Have they sorted out their life and living a fantastic life? They're not. Most of them are mess. Do you know someone? Anybody knows someone who dreams and it comes true for them? You know somebody like that? Hello? Huh? You know? Are they living a great life? Huh? Most probably not. Very rarely. That's for a different reason. Most of the time they are a mess. Because those who cannot just sleep, they have to see things in their dream, will go somewhere else. Life won't work out like that.
So I'll ask a different question. Among the audience, how many dream? How many remember any dreams, like ever? So are these… they're not sleeping properly?
They're not good.
They're not good?
Yes, they're not keep their machines well.
So what is your advice then to the majority of people who will have a dream?
Well, they need to work upon themselves. Not the world, upon themselves. That when I'm awake, when I sleep, I sleep. Their wakefulness is not complete, nor is their sleep complete. What is the point of a life like this? Your wakefulness should be complete, that when you're awake, anything that you see, you penetrate. When you sleep, you must be dead. Hello? That's the idea. No, when you're awake, you're all over the place. When you're asleep, you're seeing things. No.
I can say that we have done some EEG studies on advanced meditators who stay in delta, which is deep sleep, even while awake, which is quite strange. I mean, from a conventional point of view.
Look at me, do I look stoned?
No, but you do look like you're in delta.
I'm not alpha?
No, delta.
Whatever that is. I don't know. If I have all these alphabets inside me,
You do?
all I know is I've taken a lot of care to tweak this machine in such a way that it operates at its best, always, for myself and everybody around me, and that's all.
Yes. I also sense, having spent some time with other people who spend an enormous amount of time in spiritual development and meditation, that your presence alone can induce states in other people. You're not doing anything, there's no intention.
Now if I walk in, they go crazy.
Or the other direction. The crazy is one direction someone can go. The other one is to get pulled into. There's a space.
That's what I mean, crazy.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah, so I have a similar sense to being in the presence of the Dalai Lama, for example.
Don't put me
I'm just saying.
Don't put me in that bag, please.
I'm just saying that's what I felt. So maybe I'm crazy too. So if,
I didn't say that, okay?
Yeah,
It was a confession, not…
yeah. Yeah, that'll be the 1 second clip that somebody puts on YouTube. Yeah. Well, so I had a number of other questions about this dastardly science where we're looking into these kinds of…
I didn't use such words.
Pretty close.
I didn't say science is dastardly. Well, today most of us are sitting here and alive because of various scientific developments that have happened. Otherwise, most human beings were not reaching 30 years of age in the past. You know this? More than 50% of the people wouldn't cross 30 300 years ago. Today we are all sitting here because of scientific developments and the consequences of that. So it's not that I think it's dastardly, no, it's a fantastic thing. But we must know where one thing begins and where another thing ends. If we don't know that, then it'll get bad.
So it is better to know than not to know. That's the urge.
Are you even questioning that?
No.
There is… See, some people, I don't know, I think it's the English who said, ignorance is bliss. Well, if you jump off a cliff, it feels blissful.
For a while.
If you've done skydiving, you jump off 14,000 feet from a small little airplane and it feels fantastic. You can't make out whether you're going down, going up, nothing, you're just floating and fantastic. If you look down, the damn planet is coming at you at great speed. That's the only problem. So, ignorance is bliss till you hit the ground. Ground zero will come for everybody. So, these kind of things have been promoted. So, I am not saying ignorance is bliss. I am saying knowing should be done in a most responsible way. Otherwise, unfortunately, right now, our science, our technology, our competence, our enhancement in the world is destroying the very source of our life. That's because people with intent, not people with balance, not people with empathy, not people with inclusiveness, people with intent. Everything they find, they must use it. Everything they find, they must use it. This kind of primate intent it is. It's not human. It's very primate intent. All the time you want to do something, all right? So whatever you find, you must use it. There are ancient temples in India. I'm saying this particular temple I'm talking about, maybe 600, 700 years ago, and they carved in stone that it is possible to put a hole in the earth and suck pure water and quench our thirst for today. If we do that, we will destroy all life around us and inevitably it'll come to destruction of human life. They say we can make large objects fly. If you make them fly, the ether will get disturbed. Once ether gets disturbed, human beings will have great difficulty to just maintain their fundamental peace. So we should not fly large objects. If you fly something small for emergency, it's okay. You should not fly large objects. Well, we are flying a lot of stuff. Anything that can fly, we'll make it fly today. Look at the state of mind. Human survival is better taken care of than ever before. We have comforts and conveniences no generation could ever imagine. But most people are gasping for life with full stomachs. Why? At least we must understand, whatever it is, we are doing many things wrong. We must understand that or no?
Yes. Understanding and knowledge are…
Yeah, by the time you understand piece by piece, it'll be over.
Well, then how do we jump over what we currently know?
If we invest in knowing without intent, just knowing the existence in which we live, we must know. Who we are, we must know. It's very important. If we invest in knowing, it doesn't cause damage. The moment I know one piece, we want to pluck the sunflower. When we try the tree, we've already gone through this. Those things will happen. This is why exploration without intent, simply because there is a human longing to know. It's not invented by me or you. Human beings want to know is not your making or my making. There is a deep longing in a human being to know. This intelligence cannot sit here and say, I don't know and it's okay. The moment you see I do not know, wanting to know has sprung within you. Can't stop it. So, you must understand Eastern civilizations are known as land of seekers because there's no belief system. Simply seeking. Well, already so-called divine entities have come and spoken and they've told us what is the truth. But we bow down to them in respect, but we must seek. Because we must know. He said, maybe it's true for him, maybe it's true for me, but I don't know. This is the approach. It's seeking. Seeking should not have an intent, why I am seeking. I am seeking because there is a fundamental longing within a human being to expand, to know. That need not be enslaved to anything.
Right. So that is the urge I feel. I've spent my career seeking…
I'm not against you.
No, but I'm trying to reshape or reconceive the idea of why studying things like precognition or telepathy or whatever, why that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to turn into a technology and be used in a quote good or quote bad way.
You know it can be used.
It can be because…
You know it's been used.
Yes, but that's not my pull, right? There are people who are always going to take advantage of anything.
See,
that is
it is like
discovered.
that. Recently, I have not seen this movie, but I think almost everybody in this hall would have seen this movie. What is this? The nuclear… Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
He says, this is not my intent, but I made the bomb. The movie director wants to save him. He can't be. I didn't intend that people should die, I just want the bomb to explode. But I don't want you to die. Well, ask the Japanese. Whether people die or just mosquitoes die in a nuclear explosion. Well, it's the most horrendous thing, and today we have things which are 100, 200, 1,000 times more powerful than that one. 1,000 times more powerful than the big boy that we dropped on somebody, we have today. But we are still talking about the same language because we think it's all right to drop it on those guys who look little different from me. Not on me, those guys, bad guys. I'm saying anybody who doesn't agree with you is a bad guy. Hello? So knowing is not of that kind. Knowing is just a human longing. And if science is based in logic, all right, it is right, science is based in logic. Logically tell me, piece by piece, if you know this cosmos, how many light years will it take?
It won't take light years, it'll take years.
Really? The whole cosmos?
Well, it'll take years, yes, many.
Light years?
Well, no, light years is a measure of distance, so it will take
I know it's
years.
distance, but I'm saying how far is it?
Very far.
Is it in a meaningful distance, I'm asking?
Well, yeah.
See, I want to explore the cosmos. So whatever the fastest craft that I have, I will start off. Let us say my craft multiplies its speed by 1,000 times tomorrow morning, new technology I have, or 1,000,000 times. How long do you think it'll take for me to go end to end in this cosmos and know all of it, photograph it, bring it home and analyze it and know everything?
A very long time.
What is that long time?
Maybe infinite.
Huh?
Infinite, maybe.
So, it's not logically correct, the approach. But if you look close enough, today we know even the modern science is conscious a little bit that the fundamental structure of the atom and that of the cosmos are not very different. In complexity and sophistication, it's different. But in fundamental nature, it's not different. If you take a single-celled amoeba or a bacteria, whatever you want to call it, and look at it and look at you or me, it's okay, I'm saying when I say, I mean to say everybody, okay?
Yeah.
Fundamentally, it's the same life. It's just the sophistication and complexity has multiplied millions of folds. So if you can poison a single-celled animal with something, the same thing can also poison this. This is well established today. Only thing is the dosage with which the single-celled creature dies and how much dosage it takes to kill me may be different. But the same thing that kills that single-celled creature can kill this because essentially the structure is same, life structure. So when this is the case, if you explore this deep enough, you may know the cosmos by inference, not by direct perception, but by inference, by reflection, you may know it. That's what we are trying to say, that turn inward and look. There's a better picture of the cosmos than running away. The beautiful story. Can I tell you, is it okay? Scientific to tell stories or no?
Oh, yeah.
It is. This happened. Shiva and his wife Parvati and his two children Ganesh and Kartikeya. Two boys were playing, little ones. Ganesh is the elder one, Kartikeya is the younger one, and they have their pets. One has a peacock, another has a mouse, and there is a bull which is Shiva's pet. Full family, God family, okay? You don't see this anywhere else. Then somebody from South India came. They carried a huge basket of mangoes and walked because they want to give mangoes to Shiva. But mangoes, as you walk every day, one started rotting, so they threw out. Just one big mango survived, luscious fruit. You eaten Indian mango, South Indian mango?
Yes.
Have you eaten South Indian mango?
Yes.
Not the South American mango.
No.
Southern Indian mango you've eaten?
Yeah.
Okay. So, they brought this mango and they want to offer it to Shiva, and they offered. The two boys saw, because they're up in the Himalayas, they don't see mango. When they smelt the mango and they saw it, they wanted, both of them came running. Now the simple thing for the mother would be to cut it into two halves and give. But mango is not that kind of a fruit, it's not an apple, you can split it into two and give. At homes when you have brothers, even if you split it exactly half, they'll look at it and say, he got the bigger one, I got the bigger one. Hello? Those who raise children, they know. So mango cannot be cut like that at all. And above all, it's very ripe. If you try to cut it, half of it will spill out. So, both of them came, mango. What to do? If you cut it, mango will go waste. So, they said, whoever, these are divine children, whoever can go around the world fast and come back, whoever wins the race, they will get the mango. So immediately the younger boy is a very adventurous one, he got on top of his peacock and just flew. He wants to go around the world and come. Elder boy is a little fat boy. He just sat there and his pet is mice. He can't ride on that and go around the world. He just sat there for some time. After his brother became a small dot in the sky, he got up, walked around his father and mother 3 times and said, mango. They said, what is this? Your brother is gone on the race, you're just standing here and asking mango. See, my brother is made like this. He's trying to go around the world. I have gone around my world, not once, 3 times. Mango. They did not have an argument against this logic. They said, okay, mango. They gave the mango, he ate well. Looking at his form, he's been eating well. So after the younger brother came back, so many things happened, let's not go there, but I'm saying, there is the world and there is your world. Oh, is there the world that I'm going to go around? You will not go around the world. Even now, what you think is the world is only the way it's reflected within you, in your perception, isn't it? You don't know nothing other than what your sense organs tell you.
Maybe a little more.
Little more, we'll come to that. But let's start with where we are. Right now, you know things that you can see, hear, smell, taste and touch. This we call jnana. Jnana means accumulated knowledge, we gathered this. Different people, in the same hall, 100 people are sitting here, in the same hall, not everybody sees as much as the other person sees in a given situation, isn't it?
Yes.
So, keenness of their attention and their focus, accordingly they will imbibe. Some people will, glean things out of everything, some people will just look at it on the surface and go. This is not just in one situation, entire life is like this. But this is all through sense perception. That is called jnana. But if you perceive something which is beyond sense perception, then we call it vijnana. That means vishesh jnana. Vishesh means extraordinary, jnana means knowing. Extraordinary knowing because what is not visible to your eye, you saw. What you cannot hear, you heard. So today, in India, for example, in a school, if you say Vijnana, Vijnana means it's a science class, okay? Physics, chemistry, biology is Vijnana. That means you saw things that our senses could not see. So it's not that we are oblivious to that. But most of the stuff that you know experientially has come to you through the sense organs. Even the other things that you saw through a telescope or a microscope or whatever other things is just extension of the same thing. It's not different. You're still seeing through the same eye, still processing in the same mind. Because all the information in your head, all the data has come through these five sense organs and they're not reliable. This particular sentence, they spliced it and used it in a very negative way against me. When I say they're not reliable, right now if I touch your hand like this, I will say, oh, your hand is warm or cold. That's not because you're warm or cold. Because compared to your hand, I am warm or cold according to my experience.
Right.
I don't experience your hand, I am only experiencing my hand, how it feels, isn't it? What is light, darkness, we can argue. If you sit with an owl and argue which is light and which is darkness, where will you go? Endless argument, isn't it? Who is right really, you or the owl?
But see, what you're describing is exactly what happens in science. We compare observations.
I know.
Let's
go one step at a time because if you skip steps, then mathematics will go wrong, later.
You can fall down, yes.
So you are right or owl is right?
No.
Who is right?
We don't know. We collectively figure it out.
In collaboration with the owl?
In collaboration with as many
No,
as we
among
can.
human beings only, no collaboration. All of us are prejudiced with the same view. All of us human beings are prejudiced with the same vision, same type of vision. You talk to a grasshopper and see, he thinks you're a bloody idiot. Do you know how he looks at you? With his multi-dimensional eyes, he thinks you're such an idiot with a plain eye like this and you think you're seeing something. So I'm saying, you cannot determine which is right or wrong because your perception says this is it, their perception says that is it, because these two visual apparatus were created for our survival process. For our survival, we need to see it like this. For his survival, he needs to see it like that. If he cannot see in the night, he's not going to eat anything. So, creation has made us in so many ways, but right now all our accumulation of knowledge is coming through these five senses. From that data, we are trying to collaborate with each other, do everything. It has relevance, absolute relevance to our survival process, but not to the aspect that we consider as knowing, simply knowing. You can't go there. You're only trying to extend your survival, get your survival better and better. With science, there is technology. Just many of you are in the science departments, in the universities and stuff. Tell me, if there was no technology at all coming out of science, by now people would have beaten the scientists out. Yes or no?
Perhaps.
Only because benefits are coming, they're pumping money. If no benefit came, you think they would let you live? After spending $100 million, if you don't produce any benefit, they will do something else to you. So, it is technology. Technology is little bit enhancement of our understanding and learning to use it for our benefit, perfectly fine. Absolutely I'm not… even our basic program is called inner engineering, it's about engineering, all right? So, we are not against technology. The important thing to understand is our perception is very limited in the sense, see, if I show you this, my hand, you can see this spot, but you can't see this spot. If I show you this, you can't see this. This is the nature of our perception. If you perceive sound, you can't perceive silence. Everything is like this, that our senses perceive only one aspect of it. If you perceive this, that is missing. If you perceive that, this is missing. With this piece by piece or partial information that we are gathering, we are making up a big picture. This is like there is a million-piece jigsaw here. You and me sat down together and we found 7 pieces and put it together. And then you said, because you're American, you said it's a bear. I turn it around like this and say, no, it's a lion. We'll argue and fight about it. But we got only 7 out of million pieces and we are making forms out of it. Whatever the hell you see in that form is meaningless, isn't it? That's all I'm trying to say.
And yet the urge remains. The urge remains.
The urge remains.
To fill in the rest of the million pieces.
Yes, the urge remains, but you already told me the size of the cosmos is such. I have repeated this in the last 4 days 3 times over, but let me say it once again. Neither the so-called men of science or the so-called men of God do not know where the cosmos begins and where it ends. See, I'm going against both the people. You know why I'm in constant trouble?
Yeah, but see, even if we suspected or even knew that it was infinite, that would not stop the exploration.
See, I'm just talking about if you are looking at how to make use of things, one kind of exploration, but you want to know the entirety, another kind of exploration. If you think both are same, I'm very sorry.
And yet we want to know. So let me ask a different question. So the curiosity, the urge to know, all of that is perfectly fine. It sounds as though, if I understand correctly, that the complaint occurs, or the part where it doesn't work so well is when technology immediately jumps in and then tries to use it. And so, like an ideal would be something like maybe the ancient Greek philosophy schools, where there was urge to know, and including inner knowing, both inner and outer knowing, but there wasn't immediately technology that tried to use, as you're saying, intent to do something with it. Well, then what do scientists do? We can't stop that.
No, scientists are… I don't want to make a very sweeping statement like this. I have deep respect for people who are pursuing science because the many things, not 1 or 2 things, a million things that are in our lives which are making our lives. As I said, we are alive because of the advent of science, otherwise we wouldn't be alive. Many of us won't be alive. I wouldn't be alive, I know that. I crossed the line too many times. See, right now we have positioned it in such a way that without commercial forces empowering this so-called research that's going on everywhere, nothing will go on except some hardcore scientists who will anyway do it wherever they are. Rest of the scientists are powered by commercial forces. How can they not produce some technology? They have to. Somebody was telling me about how they are certain type of bacteria, they catch them and now they're extracting protein from them. I said, why can't you leave this stupid bacteria alone or let them live their life? Because they're not stupid, they're making our life in ways that you don't understand. Hello? In school science, they taught you bacteria will kill you. But bacteria is the one which is keeping you alive right now. Hello? Why you want to get protein out of bacteria? Grow some damn food, keep the earth well and grow food and eat well. Who's stopping you? So like this, because somebody funds it, now you have to extract protein out of bacteria. Well, they may find meaning in everything. If it makes money, there is meaning. Well, if you don't stop this somewhere, we'll pay a serious price. We already are.
Right. So fortunately, there are science institutes that are nonprofit, so not funded.
Fortunately, there are some left. I know
yes. Well, I work for one, so the institute where I work is a nonprofit.
We were not talking about you.
Well, it's true. I was talking about my institute.
All right.
And it's not my institute, it's where I work, the institute.
Where you work should be yours. I'm asking, is this planet your planet?
It's all of ours. It's everyone's.
That's a very dangerous idea. Unless you feel this is mine, you won't do your best, isn't it?
No, I feel like I can work for the planet.
You can, like this, but what is yours? You invest yourself in that, isn't it?
Yeah, so yeah, I spend time doing what I do, but in the benefit of everyone. That's why we publish everything, we give a lot of talks, we share what we learn.
All right.
And we are approached by people in industry who want to use what we do. And most of the time, they are unrealistic in terms of what it is. They're looking for the so-called low-hanging fruit, and the fruit is not hanging low. It's still pretty far up on the tree.
You can cut a branch and it'll come down all the fruit.
No, there's no cutting of the tree and grabbing the fruit, because after all, it might be a mango.
Right now, it is happening, isn't it? We're cutting a lot of branches. We're cutting the root itself.
Yeah.
This happened. A potato farmer in Tennessee got the urge to eat mango. I'm sorry, got the urge to eat an apple. You know, I'm too much I'm infested with mangoes. So whatever I try to say fruit means mango will come out of my mouth.
Yeah.
He wanted to eat an apple. So he went around looking and he found an apple tree. He went to the right tree, I'm saying. But being a potato farmer, he started digging the ground for apples. When he found no apples, he became furious. And he dug furiously. After some time, the tree came down upon him. This is our story of science right now. We need to change that, that's all I'm saying. I'm not against science, I'm not against technology, I'm 100% for it, but this story of digging the roots out must change, isn't it? That's only possible if it's not commerce-driven, that we are willing to evaluate what to use, what not to use, how much to use of what. This you don't leave it to the legislators, because legislators are slaves of people, all right? To win an election, they can do just about anything, not just in one country, all over the world. Because that is a compulsion that they have to please the people. They have to give them something every day, otherwise they won't vote for them. This is not their problem, it is the larger public's problem, that they will not vote for him if he says the wonderful things that should be done in this world. He has to say, I'll give you this, I'll give you that, I'll give you that, then they will vote for him. So when that is the case, you can't leave it in the hands of the legislator. If the scientist is wise enough, it must be decided there what is worth acting upon, what is not worth acting upon, isn't it?
Right. The key word being wise enough, the wise scientist.
Wisdom is a very rare thing to find. So I would say at least downgrade it to being a responsible scientist.
Okay, yes. So what do we do with people who have the exceptional experiences. We will not use the word that starts with P. And they're disturbed by the experiences. They hear voices in their head. They feel they're out of control as a result of those experiences. Then what do we do with them? Because I get a lot of emails from people who are disturbed. And I say, I'm not a therapist, I can't help, but from your perspective, then what do we do with them?
See, they pursue something that they cannot handle. Right now, in America, I'm seeing all of you, particularly ladies, can you just put both your hands up before I make a comment? Okay, nobody here. There are a whole lot of people who are wearing rings on their thumbs and walking around. It's a simple thing. If you put a ring on your thumb, the system works in a certain way and they will become available to certain forces, which they don't know how to handle for sure. If such forces enter your life, in a mild way, you will get mentally disturbed, unnecessarily struggling with this and that and just about everything. People are struggling with just about anything. If they're married, they will struggle. If they're not married, they will struggle. Children, they will struggle. No children, they will struggle. Tell me one damn thing that they don't struggle and suffer with, just about anything. So the whole creation is not okay. That's a conclusion a lot of people are coming to. No, this is the way creation is. It's your business to find the rhythm of this creation and make it into a beautiful dance. It's up to you. So, a simple thing like that, things will come towards them which they cannot handle. If it comes in a big way, it'll completely break them, disturb their lives in very badly. Why would they put that? Maybe just fashion, because one person puts it, they put it. One person pokes it, everybody pokes it. I'm not trying to make statement on women's fashion, that's not my business. All I'm saying is, this is a highly sophisticated machine. How you sit, how you stand, how you breathe determines what happens to this. We can actually make an experiment and show you, but right now I don't want to spend time on that. If you go home and experiment, if you hold your all five fingers together, palms facing down like this and breathe, your breath will be one way. If you just turn it around, your breath will be in a different way. How many times in a day, unknowingly you're doing this. So everything is going into turmoil and you're wondering, why are you not peaceful? You will not be. If ad hoc, accidentally, you can be very peaceful and blissful, I am very disappointed because I did so much work to make myself like this. If you can be just like that, I will be disappointed. Hello? You went to school, college, everything to learn this much of science. Somebody just knows it, won't you be? Just like that. So, the purpose of why we keep yourself in a certain way, paying attention to every aspect of life is because this is a very sophisticated machine. The most sophisticated piece of technology on this planet is human system. How will you keep it? How will you use it? Very, very important for your well-being and everybody's well-being. It's important. So, there is a whole science about this. What are the things you do with this? What are the things you don't do with this? This is not control. This is not tradition. This is a very profound science which has come out of very deep observation and experience. So what should we do, what should we not do? Well, you don't try to play God, that's very important. One thing you can do is, you can stand near the light switch and say, let there be light, tuck. You can enjoy that, okay? If there was no electricity, that also is not allowed. Now there is electricity, you can just feel like God. Let there be light, enjoy it. There's somebody in your house, this is why everybody loves children, because in front of children you're godlike. Whatever you do, they're like, all right? Now children are too much trouble and they're overly smart. By 6, 7, they figure out who the hell you are. That's why the dog will look at you like… Everything looks like magical for him, whatever you're doing. He also, once you give him his treat, he just loses interest and goes. He knows. Hello? He knows. He's life smart, He knows what to do, what not to do with his life. So it's very important that science, which is such a precious tool, must be conducted in a responsible manner, not in a commercial manner, because once commerce enters into it, compulsions are natural. Once I've invested money, profit is natural, isn't it? My aspiration for profit, you can't help it. So, keeping science in a more focused way, in a more exploratory way, and where we want to produce results, some problems we have, how to find solutions for that. Don't find solutions for problems that we don't have. Hello? There are certain number of problems. How to find solutions for that? That's technology. Fundamental science is just pure pursuit of wanting to know. Lot of human beings must invest in that one, like just wanting to know. Some individuals must focus on solving some basic problems. Don't solve everything and leave the next generation with nothing to solve. Let them solve some things. If you're a wise parent, you will let your children have some problems, isn't it? If you solve everything for them, they'll become stupid nothing. Yes or no? You leave them some problems so that they use their head and try to find their way out. So, this may sound too conservative and too whatever, but otherwise, not just the scientists, the whole world pays the price, which we already are in many ways.
True.
I was speaking truth only all this time.
Oh, good. But you see, everyone perceives slightly differently, so I still have to evaluate, and so I perceive truth in this case.
That's good.
And one of the other reasons why we're interested in, let's say, the noetic experience is because…
You must tell us more about that. You've not told me anything, you're just questioning me.
Yeah. Well, we're interested in it because when somebody has a noetic experience, they feel a sense of awe, they feel a sense of expansion. And what happens to them is that they transform from somebody who, in the vernacular we can say is kind of a jerk, into somebody who is compassionate and empathic and wants to serve others. That's a very fast transformation. And it appears to be permanent for people to have those experiences. So it behooves us then, if we want to live in a world where people are empathic and compassionate, we should understand why that happens. Why is it that this opening to these noetic experiences is so pro-social? It pushes people in the direction of service and empathy and humility. Why does that happen? Well, we don't know exactly why that happens. That's one of our urges as well.
Wonderful. If it works for people, anything that works, I'm not against it. Anything that works. But when something works, we must look at it, would it work for everybody? Maybe right now we are not able to make it work for everybody, but would it work for everybody? If that is ascertained, I have no issue with anything.
Yeah. We don't know that it works for everybody, but it works for…
Jerks.
Well, it works for people…
Where do you find them?
It works for people who let's say, could be better. Wiser, perhaps.
You're getting diplomatic.
Yeah. Well, I don't want that clip taken out either. So, yeah.
Wonderful talking to you, Dr. Dean.
Thank you.
So, Professor Radin, first part is normally the question towards you, and I think the second part is to Sadhguru. I know that you've shared many of the interesting findings from your research center, but what was the most statistically robust findings that you came across in your experiments and research, and what was the significance of that finding? And I think
let him answer the question.
I want to know what is creating that findings. What is behind that phenomena? And
well, we still don't know what's the phenomena.
No, so we can talk about the phenomena, and if that phenomena is naturally occurring anyways, like let's say people might do sadhana, people might do these different experiences, and we're experiencing it. It's something as natural as certain other natural phenomena that occurs in nature. Why is it, if we're not going to commercially use it, it seems like you are not so positive and forth in studying it. Why can't we study it? Why can't we study it like any other phenomena?
So one of the most robust effects that we've seen is part of our global consciousness project. So when mind pays attention, it is as though the coherence involved in paying attention makes the physical world coherent too. And we have 50 years of laboratory studies with one person and a device. So these are now putting these same random number generators around the world. And we see that during periods of large-scale mass attention on things that happen that are carried by the media, we see a change in randomness towards coherence. So in our formal experiment that went from 1998 to 2015, we had 500 such events, things like the opening ceremony of the Olympics and the death of a celebrity and terrorist attacks, all those kinds of things that attract a lot of attention. So the coherent attention created deviations to 7.3 sigma. So those of you from physics know, 7.3 sigma is a lot. You can get the Nobel Prize for 5 sigma.
You also trying? I thought there's a whole lot of talk about Nobel Prize in the country.
Yeah. So the statistical likelihood of that is about 3 trillion to 1, the odds against chance. So it's very unlikely to have seen that the physical world changed as a result, at least in correlation, with millions or perhaps billions of people simply paying attention to the same thing at the same time. So how do we explain that? There are philosophical ways of thinking about it, but ultimately it says that there is a relationship between mind and matter.
No question. Mind is matter, if you ask me.
Mind is matter.
How is it not matter? It is matter.
Well, does it matter? Yes.
That I don't know. It may not matter.
Oh, okay. There we
It
go.
depends whose mind it is.
Yeah.
But mind is matter because mind is a physical phenomenon. Well, you can gauge it by neuronal activity, the electrical currents that are happening there and whatever else you observe, A, B, C, D, alphabets. If you observe, I'm using modern alphabet, I'm not saying alpha, beta.
Yeah.
So, it is physical in nature, subtle, but physical still. So about that question was not directed towards me. My question is why? Why can't we commercialize it? Why can't we use it?
That's not the question. I did not ask if we're not going to, because you said commercialization and intent is what creates…
No, intent, once it goes a certain way, intent needs investment. Once investment comes, commerce comes, you can't help it.
But I am talking about without that. Without that, if it was pure wanting to know, why does this phenomenon happen? But then why can't we say…
We know why it happens.
Then why does it happen? I don't know why it happens.
I know why it happens.
Please let us know.
Let us know, yes.
No, but you want to go piece by piece, saying that I'm not trying to negate everything. All I'm saying is, see right now, first of all, maybe these days it's changing a little bit, but largely the modern neurological sciences and others have been treating brain as the source of all this. It is not. It's one place, certain number of things happen. But if you… see, it's like this, you learn to operate your… these days, of course, it's all touch screen, but even then, I see a lot of people who are typing out on their… laptop or iPad like this. The way to type is like this, all right? So one who is typing with one finger, they think it's fine, they're saying, I'm doing fine. Of course you're doing fine. If you have only one leg, also you will be doing fine. Only when somebody with two legs comes and runs next to you, you realize the value of two legs, isn't it? So the value of 10 fingers, if you don't know, you do this and you think you're doing okay. Do you see a lot of people typing like this? Because nobody learned typing like this. All the 10 fingers when they type, what happens? When one finger types, what happens? Is it the same thing? No. So right now, looking at everything separate, we've caused a certain amount of skewed approach to life. You're thinking brain is the intelligence. I've been going through this last 3 days with everybody, I don't want to start that again, but every cell in your body has more memory than your entire brain can ever hold. Million years of evolutionary memory is here, genetic memory is here in every cell. Your stingy parents gave you only one cell, isn't it? With that, see what's happened? They didn't give you 1 billion cells. With one cell, everything that was needed for this life was there in that one cell or no? Hello? Yes. Does your brain contain that much memory, I'm asking you? Hello? No. A single cell that came from your parents had more memory than your entire brain has, 1 trillion times more memory, if you ask me. So our understanding of life is all broken into keyhole approach. This one piece, this one piece, this one piece, this one piece. If you approach like this is the first aspect that we handle. If you go piece by piece of the universe, you can have your research going for the next 1,000,000 years or 1,000,000,000,000 years. That's the advantage. You will never be unemployed, okay? But you will not know. Because with all these pieces, you will not make the whole. The way you are made, there is a wholeness to this. In some way, it's a reflection of the creation itself. If you are willing to look at this is even possible for an amoeba, but the poor thing is not so aware, doesn't have the necessary capacity to process that. But with a human being, if you're willing to turn inward, when I say inward, people think contemplation. Contemplation means rolling around in the same garbage bin again, maybe in a more organized way. See, out of the garbage bin, there's a whole… unfortunately, there's a whole lot of people living out of the garbage bin, you know. They know how to process and they find something useful to eat every day. If you process 5 garbage bins, you have 2 meals a day, actually. There's enough out there. But is that the way to produce food, I'm asking? Isn't there a better way of doing it? And is that the way to feed the whole world? Is it a possibility? 10 scavengers may eat like this, but is that the way to feed the world? By sourcing the garbage bin? No. So, there is a way. Right now we are talking about intent and what's that, coherence of mind, right? By being focused…
Attention.
There is a certain… by attention. Human attention is a phenomenal thing, much more than most human beings ever imagine what their attention can do. That attention is so scattered. Today it's a qualification that I have attention deficiency is a qualification. Without attention, you won't open a single door in the universe. If you have absolute sense of attention, there is no door in the universe which will not open for you. But you need keenness of attention like that. So, I'm not questioning those things, but I'm saying at every point we are drawing conclusions which is not right. And if we go that way, it's endless wrong conclusions we'll draw, and every 2 years later we realize that's not it, and keep going. It is like you see a flower on the tree. We'll go back to mango tree, is it okay?
Sure.
It's far away,
That's
but…
fine, yes.
You saw a mango tree, there is a flower, you thought it's nice and plucked it and put it in your hair and went around. Fine, it's a beautiful flower by itself, it has nice fragrance also. Only thing is, in your tree there'll be no mangoes, that's all. But you don't know, you never saw a mango, you never tasted a mango, do you think you lost anything? You didn't lose anything, you got a fine flower in your hair. This is how life is. But the mango farmers in India, they have a certain wisdom. See, if you plant a mango tree, by second year, maximum third year, it'll flower. The mango farmer will go around diligently plucking off all the flowers and throwing it into the root. He won't allow a single… If you leave it, it'll become a fruit. In the tiny little plant, 2-3 fruits will come. But the moment it fruits at that age, that tree will never fruit properly. So he will pluck it off, he will dig the root and see if it has matured. Only after 5-6 years, when he finds the root is mature, then he stops plucking the flowers. Then this tree will bear a lot of fruit. This is just like that. At every point, if you keep doing things because you can do it, life won't mature into something beautiful. The fullness of life will not come to you, that's all.
I didn't plan for this, so I don't have the exact numbers. But it continues to the research Dr. Radin has worked so far with the conscious planet RNG experiments. And then there was a data collection with the RNGs during the consecration of David.
Hope you won't conclude that I'm a devil or something. No, okay.
No, you're fine.
So there was a collection of data. There were 2 independent random number generators working. And I did half of the…
Can you please explain to me what is a random number generating? I feel all the numbers are random.
Yes. So just briefly, we can how we can imagine it. Dr. Radin, I think, is more competent to explain this.
It is like a coin flipper, zeros and ones, right, random, except that it's electronic, and the source of the randomness are quantum events that are taking place, called quantum tunneling in semiconductors, which is considered to be fundamentally random. So the devices are useful for studying mind-matter interaction because there shouldn't be anything, according to mind, that will cause the randomness to change. But as it turns out, in events with a lot of minds that are focused, like in the consecration, it doesn't behave randomly anymore. So that's one of the major tools that we use to study mind-matter interaction.
Yes. So in this case, we had 2 random number generators. First thing that we observed is that they independently, if you flip the coin, there should be 50-50 in flipping the coin over the period of time. But independently, each of them, we saw the statistics changed during the consecration, especially during some events and during certain days. That independently they changed, and not only independently, that the odds of flipping the coin changed, that there was correlation between the 2 random number generators. In the data analysis, we could also see, this was all preliminary, but we could see a certain peaks at the moment you entered the temple, And we could also see the time when the certain patterns started to accumulate. So that was another interesting thing that we saw, that during the days when the certain events started, we could see the amplitude going up. So everything is right now preliminary, and we're working with Dr. Radin to publish the results of the consecration.
Yeah.
Right now what we have is the observers who were there at the consecration, just mapping the timestamps. But from my point of view, it would be very interesting to hear your take, Sadhguru, on what times certain things were done, so we can also stamp it in the analysis and see what is done in the background.
She has a question, please.
Also, you mentioned that.
Louder, please.
Also, you mentioned that the person who's analyzing the data saw some very interesting pattern that he hasn't seen.
Yes, the amplitudes of the pattern we got, compared to anything else that has been analyzed so far, it's unseen. So the odds are very, very rare that certain patterns would occur. So we have a very strong statistics on it.
Right. And we've done probably 100 smaller events. We have this worldwide experiment, but the consecration would be, what, 5,000, 6,000 people? Yeah, so that's sort of a moderate size group of people, but we've done it from small groups of 10 people up to billions, and we see the same effect, that if there's coherent attention on almost anything, we see these effects. But
what happened in the consecration would happen even if those 5,000 people are not there.
That would be an interesting experiment to try, yes.
Because all this chanting, everything is to keep them involved. Otherwise, no chant, no nothing. Simply it can be done.
Yeah, let's try that at the next consecration.
No. Because at one point when I allowed somebody to experiment with me, they diagnosed me as I'm dead. Then…
they were wrong.
Then I said, all right, if I'm dead, I'm like this, I'm fine. Then they said, maybe your brain is dead. I said, the second opinion is dangerous.
Yeah.
I'll stick to the first. So, according to some diagnosis, I'm dead. I don't mind. What do you think?
Yeah.
So I'm saying, we're looking at life in pieces. The grand picture of our existence is being missed. And the reason why I'm always… anybody shows such signs, we put them down, is because without creating an absolutely stable logical foundation, if they forage into these things, they will lose it at some point. Because the logical foundations are not so firm in most people. If they're walking on the street and they saw one white something move like that, they'll think, oh, maybe it's a ghost. They're not clear, there can't be a ghost there. You can freak them with these things. If they are capable of being freaked by that, it means their foundations are not good. These people should not forage into things which are not logical. They must stay in the logical realm and establish that, so that it doesn't fail them no matter what. Otherwise, they will lose it, they'll go off the rails.
In a way, that's the answer to his question earlier, isn't it, kind of? When you asked about people who call or write you and say they're going, in a way, what you just said seems the answer to that.
In a way, yes. The reason why always it's been said, well, I used analogies like plucking a flower or whatever, but essentially it's this, that the logical foundations are not absolute in most human beings, because that's the nature of logic. Logic can be made into many different kinds, there are various types of logics. So, to establish a logical foundation in such a way that no matter what, it will not shake. If it's like that, that person could forage a little bit beyond. Others, if they forage, they will lose many things, they could become disasters, some may not become disasters, but they will become diminished. Some will become disasters.
I think Dr. Radin had shared in the presentation before with the submarinist. It's somebody who has been trained to stay in underwater for many months, and when they had some sort of cognitions about what's happening with their family, you have said that it was actually 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is how we know that whatever telepathy is, it's not mediated by electromagnetics, at least not by conventional ideas of electromagnetics. Maybe something else.
Definitely not. It's not like telephone.
Right.
But in a way, what you just said indicates that that person is fairly stable, right? That they can stay so far below the water for so long.
And as I mentioned in that talk, that the submariners are selected for being extremely psychologically stable because of the environments that they're in. So that's why it is both not too surprising that it happens, but on the other hand, extremely surprising because that's not the person that is the stereotype of a psychic.
May I ask a question? To quote you, Sadhguru, just a quote from you, Sadhguru. On your recent trip to Kailash, you said, "To receive the grace of Kailash, to be overwhelmed by the power of Kailash, it is possible for everyone. All it takes is willingness." All it takes is willingness.
Okay.
To decipher what is there needs capability. That takes work and guidance. If you think you're up for it, I'm looking for those kind of people. Could you please expand on the capability and guidance?
You going? We are addressing very profound things in my understanding, a casual atmosphere. Well, willingness means if you are truly willing, you have no will of your own. What's so important about not having a will of your own? You have no intent. The most important thing. You have no intent, good or bad, you have no intent. That means you're not here as a person, you're just here as a piece of life. All these things that we are talking about is not a personality stuff, this is life stuff. This can only happen to a life. This won't happen to a person, whatever kind of person you are. Because what you call as my person or me as a person is just a bundle of thoughts, emotions, ideas, opinions, philosophies, ideologies, belief systems, prejudices that you hold. This is what a person is. That is not capable of experiencing anything beyond what's happening in their head and to some extent in their body. Physiological and psychological is all they will know. The phenomena of life, if one has to know, first thing is, you must understand, I am a phenomenon of life. You're life, are you?
Yes.
No, with all this technology, we don't know what kind you are. Hello?
Yes.
Are you life or you Google or something? You're life. If you're life, right now what doesn't allow you to be a full-fledged life is your own memory, your own thought, emotion, ideas, identities. This makes a little existence of your own. Such a strong boundary that you cannot… It's a boundary set by you, but you cannot cross it. You have no access to existence because you're in your own existence. To be in this creation, which is not our making, it's a phenomena. We're just a small pop-up, but we have been given this much intelligence and capability and access if we are willing. When I say willing again, you have no will of your own, that means you have no private intent. You're just willing to be life, because that's the only thing you are. Rest is all your imagination. The only thing that you are is life. Most human beings will realize only either on their deathbed or post in the undertaker's office. Others realize, not you. Because whatever you think is valuable, see, today if I tell you, you please come home, I'll give you $1 billion. You'll be there ahead of me. We don't know how you found the way, but you will be there ahead of me. If I say hang around till evening, I'll give you, in the cold you'll hang around. If I say today, see I got it in my bag but I'm not able to give it, just be here, any time in the next 3 days I'll give you, you'll hang around there day and night. It means so much. But suppose you're dead and I come and tell you, I'm going to give you $1 trillion here. Not interested? Hello? What happened? Only thing that you lost is life, everything else is fine, isn't it? Because that's the only thing you have. Rest is all imagination. I have this, I have that, I possess this, I possess that, only in your head. We don't have to take away your $1 billion. One knock on the head, if your memory goes away, your $1 billion are gone, isn't it? Hello? Do I have to steal your $1 billion? No, one knock on the head, it'll go away. So, all you have is life. To enhance that, when I say enhance that, there are many ways to look at it. One simplest way of looking at it is, we have been using the soap bubble analogy. You blow on soap bubble, I blow on soap bubble. Yours came out like this, mine came out like that. I'll say the big one is mine. But the big one always bursts first. Yes or no? Small one will float around a long time, big one will go put. The moment it goes put, I cannot say that's my air, they're my air. No such thing. So this is the nature of life. This is my body, that's your body. This is my mind, that's your mind. But there's no such thing as my life and your life. So do you function out of your body? Are you limited just to the body? Or are you using your mental faculties? Or are you using your life energies? Or are you in touch with the very source of life? Anda, Pinda, Brahmanda, that's what it means. Where are you working from? As you go deeper, you will understand people who realized they did nothing, they just sat because they knew they should have an intent. Those who worked kept the realization aside, worked like everybody else with the same problems and same attitudes. When they sat, they were different. When they were in action, they were different. Most people didn't realize, they thought they're schizophrenic. I'm saying, because the way we are studying the phenomena superficially and drawing conclusions all the time, well, just about everybody can be diagnosed with something. So, this is important to understand, life is a large phenomena, very large and very, very profound. If you pluck the mango flower and put it in your hair, is it wrong? Not wrong. But if you knew a mango will come out of this, but you value the flower more than the mango, it's okay with me. but you don't know a mango can come. That's not okay with me. Hello? Well, if you look at the root, does it look like sweet thing? No. If you look at the trunk, does it taste sweet? Bite into it and see? No sweetness anywhere. So you make a conclusion, there's no sweetness anywhere in this cannot produce anything sweet. All the best for you. You've not understood the phenomena of life. So, we are just talking about a tree. If you look at the whole phenomena of life, it is far more complex than a tree being what it is. Instead of getting a full picture, every piece you want to make a conclusion, and every piece you want to see how to use it, well, it's one way of living. I'm not talking about right and wrong. I don't look at life moralistically, what is right, wrong. What is on the surface, what is profound are two different things. Just look at your life and see what's your aspiration. On one level, when it comes to experience of life, initially you want it to be pleasant. Suppose right now we bless you and say you are all pleasant, always happy, peaceful, fine. You will just die of boredom after some time. You will want your life to become profound. Yes or no? Just pleasant will not do. When you're unpleasant, pleasant seems to be a great thing. But once you're pleasant, you want it to become profound. How profound? More profound than your neighbor. That's a big problem. If you're profound, you won't look at your neighbor. You will look inside and you want this to become profound. If you perform action, how you want your action to be impactful? Whatever we do, we want impact. So, now with the intent of impact, even without profound experience, you can create impact. That is what technology has given you. So this is why it is, instead of producing good things are becoming curse in our life. Fantastic things that science gave us, we are making a curse out of it or no? What is a boon is being turned into a curse because people without profoundness of experience are trying to cause impact. Otherwise, only if you had profound experience, you could create impact in the world. Now, without any profoundness, you can create impact. Everybody is an influencer in the world right now. Just about anything, they can show their toenails and become an influencer, all right? Hello? Am I exaggerating? So, because without profoundness you can make impact, now impact becomes a problem. It's the impact of human activity that we are seeing as most destructive and horrendous right now, isn't it? It's because no profoundness, just impact because we have the power.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, you're suggesting that all scientists should be meditating, right?
Don't tell them that.